So today I'm going to try a couple experiments at the same time. The first one is I am testing out this kind of a sprue system. Basically finding places on the figure where there's less amount of detail and then sticking longer sprues on them, longer channels, and then putting them in the cast. And then the second thing I'm going to try is supposedly copper aluminum has a lower melting temperature than just aluminum on its own. So I'm going to try kind of sticking some copper in there and rubbing it around, mixing it around a bit, and seeing if that will melt or even change the color of the aluminum. So once the smoke stops, that means the plastic has been burned out and it's ready for pouring. Once you make the metal. So it looks like the base might have been too close to the edge because it broke off. That should be the top, and that should all be covered. But the second one seems to be fine. The base did not break off on this one. Alright, so I wound up and kind of clumped together these cables, and the idea is I'm going to hang half of it into the molten aluminum and the other half on the flamethrower side, and hopefully by letting it swirl around in there, some of the copper will dissolve into the aluminum. Now the tricky part is this copper is magnet wire, so it's got a layer of enamel on it, and so I'm going to need to hopefully scrape off some of it. I don't know how much I need to scrape off, but hopefully if I hit it with the sandpaper, enough of it will fall off that it'll start a chain reaction and a bunch of it will melt. We'll see. Well, it's definitely more scraped up than it was earlier. I mean, that's the side that I didn't scrape up, so we'll see if it works. Okay, so the aluminum is basically molten, and it's time to put in the copper. So right away it caught fire, which I guess is a good thing, because that means that whatever's on the surface of the copper is leaving, but we'll see. There's some weird purplish oxides forming on top. That's really cool. Okay, well, the casting sprues and funnels, whatever you want to call them, actually worked pretty well. I was able to pipe in the metal through sections that are less detailed, and I'm sure after some cleanup it'll look pretty nice. There's a couple issues here and there, and I think those are just bubbles, and that's probably just I need to get better at casting. But other than that, the detail is pretty good. I mean, if you look at the bottom, you even see like the 3D printing lattice. I'm wondering also if I torch this for a bit and then let it oxidize, if it'll turn purple. I'll have to try that at some point. See if that oxide layer I was seeing earlier is still around.